Why were you first prescribed an antidepressant?
I was prescribed when I was 22 and I had just had a relationship breakup.
I was prescribed an antidepressant in 2013 for a chronic pain condition called trigeminal neuralgia.
I was first prescribed an antidepressant because I was going through some dark times in life. I had an ACL reconstruction on my left knee, and I was going through school at that time.
How did the antidepressant make you feel?
I felt like I was just like a robot. I was very emotionally numb.
I still had the anxiety, but it was numbed down. But unfortunately, not only did it numb down my anxiety, it numbed down my emotions. I couldn't feel any intense happiness or sadness anymore. I lost the ability to cry.
I had strong headaches. Sexual dysfunction came on quickly, which was a problem, along with diarrhea. My stress was numbed somewhat. I didn't care about things as much, and I gained weight. It was really hard to get motivated to exercise, and I was very tired.
I put on a lot of weight. I completely lost my libido, and I just found myself incredibly tired.
When I was first put on these drugs, I thought it was fantastic because it quieted my mind and numbed me, but I didn't know that the trap I was digging for myself.
What has your experience been when you came off or reduced the dose of the antidepressant?
All hell broke loose. I have never experienced the terror, the extreme physical and mental upheaval that I went through. I would be shaking in fear, totally unable to understand what the hell was happening. I couldn't sit still. I thought I was terminally ill, and back to the doctor, and he basically decided that I had a chemical imbalance and that I needed this drug and that I would be on it for life.
My brain felt like it was burning and splitting, but everywhere, along with pains and mushing feelings I can't describe. I was forcing myself to eat. I lost around 14 kilos. My clothes became really baggy. I had diarrhea I couldn't stop. I was super sensitive to light and sound, even hot and cold.
I experienced my first major depressive episode like nothing I'd ever experienced before in my life, but I just thought it was me. It was much worse than any low mood I had previously felt during my first 27 years and before being prescribed an antidepressant. I felt like I was in a bad dream all of the time, with constant terror and dread. I felt like I was trapped in my own skin and I was fighting to get out. I became suicidal for the first time in my life. When I went back to my doctor, they did not recognise my symptoms as withdrawal. I was referred to a psychiatrist and I was diagnosed with a new mental health condition.
I became sensitive to noise. I was fearful of people visiting. I couldn't watch the television. I couldn't read a book. I also got tinnitus, burning head pain. I was bedbound by this point. I would cry out to my husband, I'm dying. I'm dying. What is happening to me? It was also the first time ever in my life, that I felt suicidal, because it wasn't the fact that I wanted to die. It was just the fact this terror was so heavy. I just wanted to escape my body. It was just absolutely awful.
And I experienced akathisia for the first time ever, which is actually quite difficult to even describe, but it feels like an extreme panic attack combined with just explosive feelings of pressure in your brain and your entire body.
I had intense anxiety, intrusive, dark, looping thoughts. I developed akathisia and paced around the house so uncomfortable in my own body. I wanted to rip my skin off.
Dizziness and also these sort of zappy electric kind of sensations that I've heard called brain zaps. They didn't worry me so much as the emotional, psychological tsunami that then hit me. The main ones were the inability to sleep, and then in that state of sleep-deprived fog, these feelings of sheer dread and terror.
Inability to function, struggling to walk in a straight line. I could go on and on. Yeah, just struggling to stay alive.
How has antidepressant withdrawal impacted your life as a whole?
It has pretty much destroyed my life. It's traumatized myself and my family and caused extreme distress.
And one of really the worst thing that's been for us is the isolation in regard to medical professionals. They just do not understand the severity of withdrawal symptoms. It was just terrible visiting doctors and realizing they had absolutely no idea about this experience.
Friendships have been affected. People just can't comprehend how a prescribed medication can cause so much harm. I've lost years of employment as a direct result of antidepressant withdrawal.
It's hard to think of an area of life that it hasn't impacted. Obviously, had a massive impact on my family, massive impact on my sense of well-being. I mean, it's an experience that I just wouldn't wish on anybody.
Taken everything from me, taken my job, my ability to work, took my partner off me. It's taken everything from me.
What did you need from health services that you did not receive?
Well, I guess going back to the time when I was prescribed the antidepressant, I needed to know the risks. I needed to know what was involved in taking this medication and coming off it again. When I was thinking about coming off the medication, I needed proper advice about how to do that, proper scientifically based, evidence-based advice about how to do that without falling in a heap.
I needed health services to know about this. I needed them to know what I tried telling them was real, so they could help me, or at least be understanding and not dismiss me.
I needed to be treated with more empathy and compassion. I was often treated as a non-compliant, difficult patient who couldn't accept the reality of her condition.
That last doctor, when I tried to talk to him about what was going on, would have been able to see through my tears and been able to differentiate the symptoms of withdrawal from relapse.
I really needed acknowledgement and validation that what I was experiencing was real. I also needed a safe place to go where I had no fear of being sectioned or drugged up to manage my symptoms.
They denied the possibility of withdrawal with such conviction that I left every appointment feeling like a crazy person. And their lack of understanding made me feel like I was the problem.